Hello and welcome to Inside the Video Store. You see, he comes on here, starts spouting the word socialism, starts saying about giving two fingers up to Netflix and the big corporate people, and then he has the temerity to come on and drink coffee from a corporate coffee cup. I think we need to question his credibility, to be honest. I don't think he's the saviour of independent businesses that he proposes to be. I think he's a charlatan in disguise. That charlatan is, of course, Dave Wain. Somewhere. This is Snips Movies, one of the last remaining movie rental stores in the UK, one of two. However, it is the largest archive of rentable physical media in the UK. Welcome if you're joining me for the very first time. There are people joining week after week after week after week, subscribing rather, which is really, really nice discovering this channel. So yeah, thank you. The last two videos have been outrageously popular compared to normal, maybe 25% more people watching, which is really cool. So welcome to this orgy of physical media appreciation under the salubrious lights of a real life bona fide video store. This is not my basement. This is not my back room. This is not some corner of my house that I've kitted out to give you the impression that I'm trying to revel in the nostalgia of something long since deceased. No, this is a real life actual video store. And it is closed at the moment because it's a Wednesday, and I close on Wednesdays because I like a day off of sitting in work and drinking coffee. Okay, what have we got? We had a busy weekend, another crazy weekend. Last Saturday was a record Saturday, and this Saturday actually equaled it. Well, it came within a £1 coin of equaling the previous Saturday. So I don't think it's anything that can possibly sustain itself with that level of popularity, but who knows? It's great to see so many new people coming in every single day. There's at least one new person, one new customer in every single day. That's quite something. That's great. It's really exciting. They're lovely people as well. They really seem to appreciate what's going on. They're a younger generation. They're normally around half my age, which is very fatherly. And it's nice. It's nice to see people. Had a lovely pair of lads in on Monday morning, and if they're watching, I hope I'm not going to embarrass them. But I was doing something on the far side of the store, and I was listening to them. Well, I couldn't help but listening to them because I was away from the speakers. I was listening, kind of overhearing their conversation. And they've obviously read about all these films. They're really cine literate. Jesus, they knew some detail about movies. They're really cine literate. And yeah, they believe it or not, I think that the main source of surprise came in seeing things for the first time, being able to hold things they'd only read about, like, physically hold copies of stuff that they'd only ever heard about existing. They haven't seen it in HMV, they haven't seen it, in other high street stores. They've seen pictures on the internet maybe, or read reviews on Letterboxd, and now they can actually hold a physical copy of something that they have only ever heard the concept of, which was really nice. It was really nice to listen to, and they were really passionate and really, really happy. So it was cool. It was a good start to Monday morning. What do we got this week? Well, obviously, a lot of changes have happened. Not quite finished yet. Nearly finished. Hopefully finished tomorrow, which is Thursday. But I'm really, really pleased with the way everything has gone. Everything couldn't have fitted better. It looks great. The consensus from the weekend was kind of a launch pad for the new layout. And yeah, it's great. Everyone seems to be pretty happy, and everyone seems to be able to enjoy the ease of browsability now. Some of you, of course, aren't customers because you live a bit far away, which is a shame. However, I will give you a little guided tour in a second to show you exactly what has changed. Yeah, and would you believe, at the moment, I have 26 of these rental cases left. 26 of these rental cases left, which means there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds out in the field, and 26 are left. So I need to get onto Mr. Vistaprint and get another batch of 500 printed because, like I said to you, I know I'm repeating myself, but when I printed the original batch of these, I never, ever even thought, I said it's stupid printing this many because they're never going to ever need this many, and I do, which is great. So time to print some more, get them boxed up, and then we're ready for 2026 and see what that brings. All right, so what I've got on the show, we have the new releases, and it is the 4th week of the month, so it's the bounty of new releases with one major contemporary release, and it is a major contemporary release, and the rest are boutiques, 14 individual boutique releases. There's three strands to what's in the box. We have some Lucy's, which are just oddments that have popped up in the last week. We have a delivery from Warner Archive, which focuses primarily on animation. And we have phase 2 of the second run. Yes, more Czech New Wave. More Czech New Wave, I have you know. It's quite funny in that Liverpool Echo article. The journalist put in a little kind of, roll of the eyes. I think they said, and there's even a Czech New Wave section, if that's your thing. And it is lots of people's things. So yeah, I'll go through that shortly as well. So let's have a little wander. And while we have a wander, I'm going to do a kind of film on loan on the go. Because that's a very clever way of me saying I've forgotten to pluck out the 10 films I'm going to focus on for film on loan. So we're going to do a film on loan on the go, and we'll see what's been renting out, which might be a bit more fun, to be honest. And I'm going to do some one take. Now, I'm no Brian De Palma. This will be spectacularly awful, and the bigger screen you're watching this, then the more I pity you. Okay, I'm going to snap this off the tripod, and then I'll give you a bit more freedom. So let's have a look. So I'm going to show you the documentary section, which is one of my favorite places in the entire store. It's here. It starts here. It's always started here for quite some years now, but it was bookended. They were all crammed in tight. There was no face-on titles at all, and now I have somewhere in the region about 18 face-on titles, which really helps kind of lure people into it. Obviously, it is way up in the gods, but there are methods of elevation for people to use. But yeah, so I'm going to highlight, obviously, Almost Liverpool 8 is out on loan. Almost Liverpool 8 is a great little documentary by Dan Draper, who was a customer, and it's just an amazing documentary. So it's great to see that out on loan. And documentaries go right the way down here, which takes us, love that, takes us to, new John Pilger section. New John Pilger section there. Essential documentarian. So around the corner, King of Kong, one of the greatest documentaries ever made. There's Milius. One day in September, around the corner, Dixie Chicks. You know what? That is one of my favorite documentaries. Shut Up and Sing. It really does highlight the power of protest, and it highlights the stupidity of Americans. Moving on. So into TUVW, West of Memphis, great documentary, but I would urge you to see Paradise Lost instead. Obviously, West of Memphis is about the West Memphis 3. Peter Jackson produced that documentary, but Paradise Lost by Joe Berlinger is far superior to that. It's an essential documentary, one of my favorites of all time. And then we finished the documentary section with the Nick Broomfield collection of documentaries, and also the Dogwoof collection. Dogwoof, they're still going. God bless them. Still going. They insisted on using these environmentally friendly cases for quite some time, and they're really, really awkward. Um, but hey, there they are. And they're great. There's some amazing documentaries in there. And then finally tacked on in the end for no reason whatsoever is my Dennis Potter section, which I don't think has ever rented in the history of the store because it was always on the bottom shelf. Now it's on the top shelf and probably won't rent anyway. So not only have we broken the fourth wall by going onto the other side of the store, but we've also gone further this way. Yeah, here we have all the kind of the machismo section, the grrr section. Not saying guys do grrr. Everyone can go grrr. Girls, non-binary people, everyone. This is the grrr section for grrr, that kind of, muscle-bound hijinks by steroid-injected Hollywood icons like Arnie, for example, and Van Damme, for example. And there's Scott from Birmingham. And Dolph Lundgren has joined them as well, which is unique. So yeah, got a bit of room left. That is one thing we don't see very often at Snips. That's an empty shelf. But yeah, might come in handy. So yeah, there we go. New little section there with all those macho men, documentaries. And then if we go over here, now this is where Criterion and Indicator were. Now we have the classic actors right along this two-band shelf. So, I mean, yeah, one of my favorite sections in the store. It's not, so many of these actors have got films in Criterion. They've got films in the Indicator section. They've got films elsewhere, crossovers with other actors. So it's not definitive. You don't have the definitive works of Fred Astaire. It's impossible. But for people looking to find or discover an actor from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, this is a great two shelves to look at. Oh, excuse me for zooming in. Because you have some amazing actors like Walter Matthau. You can look at Charlie Varick, for example, then look at The Fortune Cookie, and maybe The Odd Couple as well. And Cactus Flower, what a film! Doris Day, and Let's Have a Young Man with a Horn. Bit of Bert, bit of Frank, bit of Joan Crawford, Elizabeth Taylor. Now this continues right the way round into the old Eureka section. So there we have Abbott and Costello, Gregory Peck, Marx Brothers, Audrey Hepburn, etc., etc. And we go straight right down to the bottom. Marilyn Monroe, Spencer Tracy, Errol Flynn, Tarzan, yeah. So I'm really pleased with the way that's kind of fitted on these two sides. It seems to really work for me. And what that means is that over here we have this. Now, can I pan out here like that? So that's what it looks like. So I have three definitive sections added on to the Warner Archive section on the left. So we have Criterion next to Warner Archive, then we have Eureka Masters of Cinema, then we have Indicator / Powerhouse. Obviously, there are a few little intricacies. Warner Archive, obviously, is all ordered alphabetically. You see that? I love Warner Archive, but the spines are probably the least alluring thing you can ever imagine. But hey, there we go. Criterion, of course, is ordered alphabetically. What do we got this week in Criterion? Altered States is out on loan. Yes, Crossing Delancey. What a film. Certain Women went out last night, which is always good to see. Akira Kurosawa's Dreams is out on loan, Facing the Crowd. I think Jake took that yesterday, didn't he? Which is always cool. Going down, A Citizen of Suspicion is out on loan, as is Charlie Chaplin in The Kid, which is pretty cool. Albert Brooks, Lost in America. Who took that? I can't remember who took that. I do know. I'll remember. And then Tarkovsky's Mirror is out on loan alongside Midnight Cowboy, which is pretty cool. Drop down another shelf, we have Jim Jarmusch, Mystery Train, is out. So is Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which has done really, really well since it came in, to be honest. Really, really well. Move Along, Risky Business is out with Tom Cruise. Drop down another shelf. Well, I think we're all in there. Oh, no, we're just down to Winchester 73. And I think, did Dominic take... Yeah, Dominic took Velvet Underground, the Todd Haynes film, which is pretty cool. Written The Wind is out. And also Wander is out with a customer that's had it for about 4 weeks, and I'm really annoyed by that. But hey, I'm sure it will sort itself out. So that's Criterion. Loads out on loan, which is always good to see. Trial of Angry Men as well. Oh, and Badlands as well. Loads we miss. So next door is Eureka, the Masters of Cinema. Now these, of course, are ordered by spine number. Now this is ridiculous. This highlights the ridiculousness of my idiocy. In the Criterion has spine numbers too. Yeah, I don't organize them by spine number yet. MOC has spine numbers, but I do organize them by spine numbers. Ridiculous. But yeah, really pleased with how this looks. And you can see the difference from Warner Archive, like the drab blue and orange/yellow of Warner Archive spines, to Master Cinema, which just pop, absolutely pop. I mean, it does help we've got a light right above there. But, they really do stand out, don't they? I mean, look at that artwork. I mean, to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18 Masters of Cinema sleeves out front and center. That really does please me no end. And some really cool stuff out on loan as well. Like Pont du Nord. Great Silence, of course, went out the other day. Yeah, I'm just pleased that people are really looking at this. Grey Gardens out on loan, which is pretty cool. And yeah, and next to that, of course, we have Indicator. Good old Indicator. These, of course, are organized by spine number as well. Aren't we crazy? And it's looking really great. Obviously, I don't have the same volume of Indicator as I would Criterion or Eureka, but there's still some good stuff going out. Little Murders went out to Colin yesterday. Sweet Charity, I think, went out to Georgia. Hoffman went out as well to... I forget. That's a recommendation. Well, Ed took Hoffman, I think. Ed took Hoffman. So yeah, that's really great. Then, yeah, obviously I don't have the same volume of Indicator stuff. So right below Indicator, I have the box sets, all the noir box sets mixed in with Mae West, Confessions, Ray Harryhausen, etc., etc. The rest of the Universal box sets are, of course, in the horror section. Now, next to that, we have Third Window's gone. Isn't that strange? But what is Third Window about to become? Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Anime. Anime is here. Yeah, 80 anime films can fit in this section. I don't have 80 anime films, but I do have round about 60, which will be lining these shelves hopefully from Monday. That's Monday, the 2nd of Feb. Obviously, we're going to have 20 Studio Ghibli films at the bottom. And in the remaining 60 places, I have about 40 anime Blu-ray titles. About a dozen we've had in the store before, but about 28 or 30 are brand new. I hope you like them. I need to thank you. You're the people. You're the guys that helped me with this. People like CJ and LOD and I'm forgetting people. Kian. And loads of people. Was it Chris, who donated a couple? So there's a handful of you. I've forgotten people, but there's a handful of you who really love your anime and have really helped with selecting titles. So half the titles are your selections, half the titles are things that, from me doing a bit of research, is stuff that has rental potential. So yeah, this will be the anime section. I know it's a bit tight. I know it's, if you're browsing it, you're stood, unfortunately, next to me, which is far from ideal on your behalf. But yeah, can't wait to get that full. and it will be amazing. And I think it will be the final piece of the jigsaw. I said this every week, but it will be the final piece of the jigsaw in terms of the range. All the ranges can be bettered, but this will be the range that kind of makes the store complete. And yeah, so World Cinema is pretty much the same. Obviously, we have the Curzon box sets in the corner, or the box sets on that top shelf. World Cinema, lots of space there, but there is some slight change on the right here. Obviously, we had box sets throughout the whole fixture, but now we're going a little bit different. This is where Third Window have moved to, and they have a lot more space. They have a lot more space. Hopefully this wide angle isn't freaking out your TV too much. So yeah, the fact that I can show 6 Third Window titles face on is really, really cool, which helps the box sets like Tales of Nami and also the Makuhama trilogy. And then below that we'll have 2 shelves of second run. So I haven't organized these yet because obviously I'm going to integrate the 15, 18 or so titles that I'm going to show you shortly. And then below here, obviously we have the also runs in the box sets. Have a row of martial arts box sets, and then a bit of world noir, bit of TV movies, bit of Satana, yeah, and a bit of the the Death Eureka box sets. Horror section is largely unchanged, as you know. And then if we wander out over here, everything is pretty much as it was. To be honest, I got a load of Vinegar Syndrome titles to put out yesterday because I've been so busy and I haven't had time to put them out yet. But there's still loads of good stuff renting out. I mean, James was in at the weekend renting This Old Chestnut. So it's really nice to see films like that renting out. What else is out on loan from here? I can't think. Oh, Lifeguard is out. I know John was in the weekend with his wife, and they fancied a bit of Sam Elliott, and rightly so. Man on the Moon rented out. Hasn't been out for a while. So that's pretty cool to see going out. Walker, surprisingly, is out on loan again. One of the most popular films, and Night City Rampage is doing really good business on 4K UHD. So that's really cool to see. Raising Cain is out on loan. Snake Eyes is having its second rental of the week, which is nutty. Isn't that wild? Lord of the Rings still goes out, It does. Quite a lot. What else we got? Let's have a look. Oh, we got a few Marty films out. After Hours is out on DVD. Age of Innocence is out on DVD. New York is out on DVD. Silence is out on DVD. And Flower Moon is out. Elephant is also out, which is really cool. One of my favorite Gus Van Sant films. Nixon is out yet again. Extraordinary. So yeah, there's some really, really good films out. Alex has got Altered States out on DVD. So we have the Altered States Blu-ray out and the Altered States DVD. And Kelly Reichardt's River of Grass is out on loan as well. So yeah, I think we're pretty much up to date. Obviously, new releases are going very, very well. Roofman, particularly Memoir of a Snail, has started to take off a bit. Black Phone 2 is doing all right. Tron is ticking. And weirdly, that is doing very well. I'm going to switch you back onto normal ratio now. One sec. There we go. Yeah, I know we did last summer. Doing really, really well. F1 the movie is still renting like hotcakes. And of course, for those Oscar nominations, Sinners is doing particularly well of late. Got the 2 Blu-rays out and 1 DVD out as well. Conclave still renting out as well. See, some of these films don't really deserve to still be here because they've been out for quite some time. But they do because they're still really popular. And I can't shift them off here, which they would go to there, if they justify their place. And they do. So, only 2 copies of Megan. Good to see Hot Milk going out. That hasn't been out very much. That's good news. But yeah, there we go. So there's your tour, and there's your on loan. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense. And hopefully that wasn't 17 minutes of waffle. Well, it was 17 minutes of waffle. But I'm sure you'll forgive me. Please forgive me. And let's have a look at the new releases. Okie dokie. Oh, good lord. Right. Let's crack on. What time are we on, people? Do we know? I don't think you do know, do you? Let's have a check. Okay. All right. Let's try and wrap this up in about half an hour. Let's see how we do. Let's see how we do. What a week. What a week. One decision I've made. Banging. One decision I've made is not to get so many contemporary releases, because there's no point. You know, there's also ran releases, the direct-to-video releases that I used to love. I still do love them in many respects, but no one's renting them. Nobody is renting those DVD-only titles. There's one out this week, and I think it will represent the first Robert De Niro film that I haven't bought in 30 years of the store being open. 30 years we have bought every single Robert De Niro film that came out. This is the first one. I don't even know the title. It's one of those, one of those films. He's probably a cameo in it for about 10 minutes, 2-day shoot. And yeah, I thought there's no point, and no one's going to rent it. I don't have that type of customer in anymore. So yeah, I think there's 2 out next week as well that kind of are on that line. But yeah, I would rather take that money, even though they're cheap DVDs. I'd rather take that money and invest it in something like a Czech New Wave film or something like a Criterion disc. So yeah, so we're really going to go down this year on contemporary new releases. This is a big one, though. It is one battle after another. I haven't seen it, but I can't wait to see. I've just been driving back from Manchester, and I was listening to an old episode of Pure Cinema in September on the Patreon, where Brian and Elric have just seen it at the cinema, and their reaction was just incredible. Obviously, I've seen Letterboxd reviews lined up over the last few months, and yeah, I can't wait to see it. I'm just going to pick it right now. I've got Albert Pune commentary to record at the weekend. So once that's out the way, I'm going to sit down and just, hopefully, I will enjoy it. But yeah, enjoy this movie. Can't wait to see it. Switch the buy slightly. Normally I'd buy 2 Blues and 2 DVDs. Gone for 3 Blues and 1 DVD. Because again, this year is the year that I think it's finally time to stop buying DVDs of new films, because I think, unfortunately, unless I stop doing that, people are going to kind of rely on still watching DVDs. I know it's really harsh, but Blu-rays do rent out so much more than DVDs for the new titles, and sometimes it is just a case of, well, you've got to be harsh to do stuff like that, and it just makes sense. So we might get the odd one for mega titles like that, but yeah, I think it's the way forward. We shall see. I don't know. I may be talked out of it. Let me know what you think. If you still have a DVD player only, would that annoy you, or are you on the lookout for a Blu-ray? Something to think about. So that's the only contemporary release. The boutiques are looking like this. I have 2 bits of Peter Sellers from Vintage Classics. I love the Vintage Classics range. Both of these Peter Sellers films I've never had in before in any capacity. Only to Play is one, and the other one is Carlton Brown of The Foreign Office. Both comedies, obviously. Both sound great. One is written by Brian Forbes, based on a novel by Kingsley Amis. And the other one is directed by Roy Bolting. So that's pretty cool. However, why have they gone for the slimline case? And it also means that the slips don't fit. So that's what you get. You get like that, you see? So the problem lies, these are on the top shelf. So when people pluck them out to browse them, smash on the floor. It's not people's fault, that they're not to know. But it's so frustrating that these slips barely fit. There's so much wiggle room in there. It really is frustrating because a slip should be snug, really snug. I mean, what have we got here? What can I show you? Let's take a look at Magic Cop from 88 Films. See that? See, that's a good slip. That's a good. I can't believe we're discussing this. That's a good slip. That's a good slip because it's got there's a bit of tension in there. There's a bit of tension in there. It's still a little bit greasy, but there's a good bit of tension, a good bit of friction. Revolver. Yeah, you see, that's better. That's better. But that's what we should have. So, those scientists need to go back to the lab and design a slipcase to fit because, Jesus, there's so much sagginess around that. It's grim. Anyway, it just annoys me that customers will pick these out and they will go on the floor, and the customers will get embarrassed, and it's not their fault because they didn't design a slip. And hey, anyway, on to Shaw Brothers. There we go. Anyway, Shaw Brothers, 88 Films. More Shaw Brothers because we haven't had any Shaw Brothers for a week. Crazy, just endless amounts of Shaw Brothers movies. These are this is from Chang Che, one of the most iconic Shaw Brothers filmmakers of all time. It's from 1972. It's called The Delightful Forest. Looks fantastic. And also we have A Secret Service of the Imperial Court. This isn't by Chang Che. It's who have we got? I don't know. It's Tony Liu. I don't know if Tony Liu did anything of note. He probably did. Yeah, 88 Films are calling it one of the Shaw Brothers' most gripping and emotionally charged epics. Intriguing. Secret Service of the Imperial Court, also from 88 Films, is Devil Times 5. I have this from Vinegar Syndrome, but it is part of the Slasher Classics collection, so I know I'm duty-bound to collect every single one. It does have an interview here with Bruce Wank, son of executive producer Jordan Wank. Parawankers. Sorry. But they are. So I just thought I would highlight the hilarity of the producer's name on this film. And it is essentially a pile of wank. So I'm going to stop now. We have an exclusive commentary by The Hysteria Continues and a couple of other new special features, including an interview with Stephen Thrower on this. It's a great little film. If you've not seen it. Devil Times 5. Drive-in classic. We have two from Criterion. Both on 4K and Blu-ray, dual format, which is exciting. From John Huston, we have his last film. It is The Dead, in which he adapts a short story that was written by James Joyce, made in 1987. It's a film I haven't had in the store before, so really excited to get that in. This film I have had in the store, but only on DVD as part of an Errol Flynn collection. It is Captain Blood. Captain Blood, a spectacular swashbuckling romance. Directed by Michael Kurtz and co-starring Olivia de Havilland, Lionel Atwill, Basil Rathbone as well. Wow. So that's pretty cool. As with The Dead, it's available on 4K UHD and on Blu-ray. Love the artwork. Really, really classy. It's a good week a good couple of weeks for Criterion. There's two out this week and there's two out next week. Next week we have House Party, made for Criterion, and Birth, the Jonathan Glazer film with Nicole Kidman. So a good couple of weeks. More martial arts. We have Stephen Chow, King of Beggars. This has been one of those that's been asked for a long time. King of Beggars. I think Stephen Chow has a lot of fans. He's great. He's brilliant. He's a true comedian. And King of Beggars at long last. out on Blu-ray. So that's very, very cool indeed. Arguably one of the most anticipated releases of the month are these two films by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Kiyoshi Kurosawa has been, in the last 12 months, the director du jour of Snips. People are obsessed with him. Cure, Creepy have been out time after time after time after time again. And here are two films by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, made 25 years apart. Charisma rather goes back to 1999, and Cloud was made in 2024. I don't think they're connected other than with the director, but yeah, a great release that's part, quite rightly, of the Eureka Masters of Cinema collection. Now this, I am very excited for. It's a documentary. It's a series of documentaries. It's released by the BFI. It is the films of Frederick Wiseman. Someone lent me a bootleg of Titicut Follies. And then you think of the name Titicut Follies and you think, what on God's green earth is that about? And it's about an institution. And it's probably the most staggering documentary I've seen. It's remarkable. It is absolutely remarkable seeing this fly-on-the-wall guide into this asylum. It's a pretty hard film to watch, to be honest. But it is absolutely stunning. A stunning piece of work. I certainly can't wait to see the other 4 films in this box set. So we have Titicut Follies, we have High School, we have Hospital, we have Juvenile Court, and we have Welfare, all made between 1967 and 1975. It is Cinema Expanded, the films of Frederick Wiseman, and it comes on a 3 Blu-ray box set. Essential, absolutely essential. Can't wait to get stuck into that. Jake couldn't wait to get stuck into Illustrious Corpses. Weirdly enough, it's one of those things that you hear the same thing twice in 24 hours and you think you're going mad. Jake came in and said, give me Illustrious Corpses right now because I want to rent it. He didn't say it quite like that. And I said, why are you getting this, Jake? He said, well, I've always wanted to get into Francesco Rosi. He's like one of those filmmakers that I just think you need to get into. And on the way back from Manchester today, I had Pure Cinema on, and Elric said, you know what? Oh, Illustrious Corpses out. I can't wait to get into Francesco Rosi. It's one of those filmmakers that I've always wanted to get into. It's weird, 2 people almost saying exactly the same thing. I'm not familiar with Francesco Rosi, but I am now, and I'll certainly find out what of his stuff is about. This has an audio commentary by Alex Cox, who is a big fan. Alex Cox, born in this very village. So yeah, if Alex Cox loves the guy, then time to get this out, get it home, and get it in the old Blu-ray player. That's the first Radiance release of the week. The second one is Blood of Revenge, from director Taiketo, his first Yakuza film, and this one dates from 1965. It is Blood of Revenge. Finally, an upgrade with Radiance. It is The Wild Child, the Francois Truffaut film from 1970. Had this on a DVD for quite some time. Oh, taken off. But yeah, The Wild Child. It's meant to be outstanding, and it will be outstanding. And now it's here on Blu-ray with a host of special features. So that's The Wild Child, the third of 3 from Radiance this week. And finally, a kind of contemporary release, a kind of boutique release. It's the new one from Arrow Video. It is, I do not know how to pronounce this. It is Huesera, 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 The Bone Woman. It's a Mexican film. It's a visceral blend of body horror and psychological thriller rooted in Mexican folklore. It's a compelling exploration of the fears and expectations of motherhood. Sounds amazing female director who blends psychological terror with raw emotion. Directed, of course, by Michelle Garza Cervera. So that promises to be quite an experience. That's Sarah, the Bone Woman. And that concludes all of this week's new releases. Right, done the on loan, so let's crack on with the loosies. First things first, mentioned last week that I have a few people going around Fellini, which is really, really cool. I have La Dolce Vita due in tomorrow on Criterion. Well, actually, it's sitting in the fruit and veg shop next door. It's sitting in the fruit and veg shop next door because they are very kind enough to take my post on a Wednesday when I'm closed. I didn't get back here before 5 p.m. So unfortunately, it will have to sit amongst the oranges and apples and bananas for one more day. So yeah, La Dolce Vita is on Criterion now, but joining La Dolce Vita on Criterion on Blu-ray are these quartets. We have The White Shake, upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray. We have Knights of Cabiria, upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray. We have La Strada, upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray, and making its Snips Movies debut, we have Satyricon. Never had this in before. Yeah. Glad to get this in. I also have coming in Fellini's final film, which I've forgotten the name of, but I know Arrow Academy released it a few years back, and I was able to get a copy of that. So, like I've done with Ingmar Bergman and other people, Michael Haneke, Peter Strickland, Wim Wenders, just gradually upgrading these films to Blu-ray of the iconic filmmakers, Akira Kurosawa. I did last year. Still got to work on Godard a little bit. Still got to work on a few more people, maybe Pedro Almodovar a little bit. But we're getting there. Because that's the goal, to have the most iconic filmmakers represented in their best possible format. So when young people, because that was my issue, you see, I was having, say Jude, for example. Jude's 20, and he was discovering the whole Fellini catalogue, and he was watching them on 20-year-old DVDs. Now, if you're watching some of the greatest films ever made, you want to watch them in the best possible format. So I felt as though I was doing a disservice to him, and I wasn't, taking up my end of the bargain. He's doing his end of the bargain because he's exploring some of the greatest features ever made. So my job is to make sure that they're here in the best possible format. So yeah, that's why I'm doing that. And fingers crossed, a little bit longer, and we'll get there. Elsewhere in the Lucy's this week, we had a new one. Got asked for this. I don't know why I haven't got it. Johnny Depp, I know he's a bit problematic. But The Libertine. Been asked for it a few times over the years. Don't know why I didn't keep hold of it. But anyway, got that back in. So there's Johnny Depp in The Libertine. Forget who asked for it, but anyway. New in Criterion, well, old new in Criterion is Tampopo. I got asked for that. Did Lot ask me for that? I forget who asked me for that. But yeah, I've actually I put together a little list of about 50 Criterion releases that I haven't got. So I'm going to little bit of work, week in, week out, just to try and get one of those in per week over the course of a year. And fingers crossed, if we do that, then we might finally have the entire UK Criterion collection. Who knows? Some of them are starting to fall out of print, so I don't know if that's at all possible. But we shall see. But Tampopo is in. This was Kieran asked me for this. There's a lot of black films made around Millennium era that simply have been forgotten about. It's weird, really cool black films that were made around the turn of the millennium that seem to have really, just that whole Friday era. It's a strange one. Belly was one. Belly has never had a release in this country since VHS. That's kind of offensive, to be honest, because there's a market for those films. Some of them are really cool films. So I thought, well, Kieran was after Belly, and I thought, oh, geez, I don't know what to do. Because I'd love to get you this film, I'd love for you to see it. But there's no way. Then I realized there was actually just recently a 4K UHD release in the UK, and with him being a resourceful young gentleman, he has a PS5 or Xbox, whatever. So yeah, he could play this. So that's pretty cool. So now I have Belly in on 4K UHD, directed by Hype Williams, and starring, of course, DMX and Method Man. That's great. And since this has come out, a number of people have said, you know what, Dave, I kind of fancy watching that myself. So I think that's going to be a really, really good renter. So I'm pleased to have that in stock. And finally, in the loosies, we have Revenge of Billy the Kid. Revenge of Billy the Kid. Roxy and Paddy spotted this on a trailer for a VHS I lent them. And they were like, what in goodness is this? It's got a lot of history about it. Roxy told me the history, and I forget most of it. But they had to stop production. They ran out of money. They got a new investor. They changed the lead actor. And she said it's like Rick Mail doing Emmerdale badly. You know, it's quite an awful film, but it's compelling. I don't know if have you seen it? It's labelled on the front as Britain's answer to the Evil Dead. I don't think that's true, even though it comes from. Oh, it's unsubstantiated. But yeah, if you've seen this, let me know. Revenge of Billy the Kid. It dates from 1991. Wild. Okay, we've got to speed up because we're kind of getting a little bit bogged down. Warner Archive. Slow down a little bit on the Warner Archives. They have mainly been releasing stuff from the 30s and 40s. A lot of musicals coming out, which aren't the greatest renters. I'm first in line for any noir. I'm first in line for any 70s movies, blaxploitation, crime films, etc., etc. But a lot of musicals have been coming out from Warner Archive. However, they've been mixed in with some animation. So we have some new animation from Warner Archive, topped off by Tom and Jerry. This is the greatest collection of Tom and Jerry that you will ever see in your life. This is 13 hours of Tom and Jerry. It comes on multiple Blu-rays. It contains 114 Tom and Jerry cartoons. 114. Yeah, all shorts, the entire series that was originally released in theaters by MGM during the golden age of Hollywood, 1940 to 1958. It cost a kidney, but brilliant. Brilliant. So pleased to have this in stock. An important and vital piece of animation history. Also out from Warner Archive in the last few weeks has been, we have the complete series of Lippy the Lion and Hardy Ha Ha, which is cool, which is 4 hours of Lippy the Lion and Hardy Ha Ha. This one dates from 1962-63, Hanna-Barbera, of course. Also out in the last few weeks from Warner Archive was the complete series of Wally Gator. This one dates from 62-63 again, and contains another 4 hours of the Wally Gator show. So they're all the new ones from Warner Archive. But while I was on an animation bender, I thought, well, hang on, let's get Top Cat, the complete series, which is about 12 hours of Top Cat with all the cartoons. The Herculoids, which I wasn't familiar with, but it looks kind of cool. It dates from Hanna-Barbera again, obviously, and dates from, does not say. Yeah, but there we are, Herculoids, and also Space Ghost and Dino Boy. Space Ghost and Dino Boy. These are great, aren't they? Brilliant. What brilliant entertainment. So pleased to have all those in stock, which is super, 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 super cool. And finally, on this week's What's in the Box, we have the second phase of the second run Czech New Wave section. They cost a fortune, which kind of is why the second phase is a little bit delayed. but they're well worth getting in because they're such iconic films. So we have 3 box sets. We have Zoltan Hazarik. We have from him. We have Sinbad. I'm not going to pronounce these. Zoltan Hazarik. 3 of his films. I'll probably take the slip off, to be honest, and just keep them individually because I think they're easier to browse, and that kind of doesn't inspire you to pick it up. Like, I like the minimalism, but it doesn't inspire you to pick it up. That kind of rather bland spine. So I'm going to split these up, get other individual cases, and keep them separate on the shelf. But yeah, Zoltan Hazarik. We have the War Trilogy, 3 films by Andrew Rausch, which includes the iconic Ashes and Diamonds, arguably one of the great Polish films of all time. And there it is, Ashes and Diamonds. So 3 films by him. You have Canal here, and also A Generation. These date from, I do not know, 55, 57, and 58. We have 3 from Jerzy Skolimowski. Jerzy Skolimowski, the Polish director who did Deep End, for example, and he did the donkey film EO quite recently. So these are 3 of his that we've never had in before, including Barrier and Walkover, and they date from 65, 66, and 68. So they're the 3 box sets there, which are pretty cool. The Cassandra Cat is in from Wojciech Jasny. This is from 1963. It's a Czechoslovakian film. And it's a little bit surreal. That one. We have Morgiana, Juraj Herz film. This one is from 1972. A memorable exercise in Gothic excess. It says, Edward Gorey as filmed by Ken Russell. Wow. An elegant, beautifully executed post-60s essay on sex and repression. Sounds fantastic. So there's Morgiana. Beauty and the Beast is the same director, Juraj Herz. And it is a retelling of the classic children's story, but with arresting lyricism and a striking style. Perhaps the most beauteous film that's ever drawn from fairy tale material. Another Czechoslovakian film. The Hop Pickers is by Ladislav Rickman, described as one of the best and most enjoyable Eastern Bloc films of the 1960s. It is from Czechoslovakia and dates from 1964. It's a cult Czechoslovakian musical. That's The Hop Pickers. We have Larks on a String by Yuri Menzel. Again, a Czechoslovakian film released in 1969. Light, sunny, buoyant, and dangerously lyrical. The Village Detective, a song cycle, is a British film, I think, by Bill Morrison. It sounds fantastic. It's based around 2016, 10 years ago, fishing boats off the Icelandic coast. Hauled 4 reels of a Soviet-era film. And the discovery of these reels of film that were in the ocean led filmmaker Bill Morrison on a fascinating cinematic odyssey. Wow. Doesn't that sound amazing? So yeah, can't wait to see that. That's The Village Detective, a song cycle film by Bill Morrison. The Shop on the High Street is it's a Slovak film. Small Town Slovakia, 1942. It's a film from 1965. It's described by Kenneth Tynan as the most moving film about anti-Semitism ever made. Important film. 3 Wishes for Cinderella is Czechoslovakian, and it's a reworking of the classic Cinderella story, one of the most beloved of all Central European films, described by Sight and Sound as a proto-feminist take on the fairy tale. Interesting. We have Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a Polish film a dazzling epic, nearly 3 hours in duration, revolving around a lethal power struggle in ancient Egypt. Looks pretty intense. Martin Scorsese describes how much he loved it, and he said it had a fresh approach to the historical picture. Days and Afternoon are two films by Tsai Ming Lang, a sensuous meditation on solitude, and delivered as a series of beautifully composed, delicately hued tableaux. The uneventful lives of two men unfold until they eventually cross paths, brought together out of loneliness and the need for intimacy. Spectacular. That one dates from 2020. Pretty new, that one. Pretty new. It's Days and Afternoon, two films by Tsai Ming Lang. And finally, we have Worlds, selected works by Ben Rivers. Ben Rivers is a British artist and filmmaker, renowned for creating a body of bold experimental works that lie between documentary and fiction. And this is a series of documentaries, or short documentaries, by him over 2 Blu-rays, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's about 24 short documentaries on here, the total in excess of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. So that's your lot. That should check roughly second run, second phase. I've still got about 15 titles left to pick up on the second run, so they'll be in fragments over the course of the year, which will hopefully complete that second run section, along with all the new releases that they pop up, but they only pop up with about one new release every 2 months or so, thankfully. But yeah, they will look great. They will look great, and they will add to that section. That's about it. We've got a couple of comments. I've left my laptop at home, so I have to write them down. Comments this week include Lee Mon. Said he enjoyed the video diary. He likes seeing how the shop has changed and improved over the years. Yeah, that is cool. I guess you can go to episode 1 and it would look very, very different indeed. Big Al says, DIY Dave does it again. Indeed I do, Big Al. There's still more to do. Still more to do. Not much. We're nearly there. We're nearly there for this year's changes. James says the Full Moon High looks great. John Hughes might disagree. It's amazing how there's so many films that have never come to DVD. It is. It's crazy. So many films stuck on VHS, never come to DVD. Staggering, really. So many thousands. I've got a database myself of 2,000 films that have never gone beyond VHS. It's a concern. It's a concern. Phil is a big fan of Roofman. He calls Roofman with Channing Tatum a hidden gem. And he also tells me it's from the director of Blue Valentine, which I did not know that. So that gives it a little bit of credibility that perhaps I didn't have before. Blue Crayon says they liked Primitive War, which is really cool. I think I sent that out to Mark this week. I don't know what he thinks of it. But yeah, he said it's mind-boggling that it has a $7 million budget because they did so much with it. So that's Primitive War going down a storm. Corey asks, is there a Dirk Bogarde section? No, there isn't, Corey, but perhaps there should be, because he is an actor that does demand his own section, to be honest. So that's something to think about. Justin says that they picked up Exorcismo, the Severin Films documentary the Severin Films box set that I've been enjoying so much recently. It is a great box set, one of the best box sets I've seen on the market for quite some time. Really great piece of work. And finally, CJ has been left giddy by the film Hyena in the Safe this week, which I'm not familiar with, so I'll have to check that out and see what that is about and why it left you in such a state of delirium. Okay, that's enough for this week. Next week, we'll be looking in depth at the anime titles that have been coming in, one by one. Some of them look absolutely spectacular, so I'm going to have to spend some time myself watching a fair number of those. So yeah, anime going on the shelf on Monday, the 2nd of Feb, and we'll be sitting here in a week's time, going through that section line by line and seeing what the anime section consists of, what stands out, and also what extra you think should be in with them. What extra titles should also be in the anime section? I'll be very, very intrigued to know that. Okie dokie, we're just about done for today. I hope it hasn't been too much of a slog for you. Thank you very, very much for watching. It's time for me to go home, have some tea, and relax. But yeah, that is it. I hope you like the way the store is. Come along. I will see you maybe soon. But if not, in 7 days' time.